Nova Guest List Podcast
with Kieran McGuinness.
The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.
Yeah, that is the gorgeous Anna with the Silver Arrow, which is one of our favourite songs of the last couple of months here on Radio Nova, and it's from a brilliant new album which is called Time of Fallow by Ellie O'Neill. And Ellie O'Neill is from Meath, and she's written this gorgeous album. It's so beautiful and intimate and introspective, and it's also just really kind of welcoming but a little distant as well. And we're so lucky because Ellie is on the line live from her wonderful Sunday of chilling out. How's it going, Ellie?
Really good, Kieran. How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. Really, really love the album. How does it feel to have it out? It's out a week. How does it feel to have it out?
Thanks. Yeah, it feels good. It's funny because it is, it's quite old to me. And I guess I've been playing the songs live for a few years. And yeah, it was sort of like a long process to get it out. So while it does feel amazing to sort of have it be shared with people and I can kind of move on now, it's a bit delayed. But I'm delighted that it's connecting with people and people are finding some comfort in it and inspiration, hopefully.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it, when you write a song maybe 4 years ago and then you have a kind of an intense period where it's kind of grown up and then you commit it to something and then you move on to the next thing and then all of a sudden that song is back again and you're like, oh, how do I feel about that? Have any of the songs sort of changed in that period?
Yeah, it's funny you say 4 years. I mean, some of the songs are 7 years old. It's nuts, but it is the mark of a good song if you can live with it for many years past the moment that you write it, because that to me is the best moment, nearly, is the moment that it comes to. It's been good to play them in loads of different situations and with different kind of configurations of the band and stuff. And I think I found that they just actually accrue more meaning as more time passes and I can reflect more. And it's good. They're like markers of a state of mind at that particular time. And while the truth of whatever situation they're reflecting on might change, I think it's so cool to be able to create something that marks what it was at that time, because I guess that is what truth is like malleable, I suppose.
Yeah, well, with that then, I suppose the album it's intimate and vulnerable, and it's quite sort of naked. It feels sort of naked at times, like we're kind of getting into stories, and you're like, "Oh, should we know about this?" It's like listening to someone's personal kind of life, and you're like, "Oh, I didn't mean to hear all that." How has it felt to put out songs that feel so intimate into the world?
I think I've always done it in terms of the songs that I've written and performed and shared with people. It's funny, I think there's less risk sharing it with strangers, so in this form, putting it out as recorded music, than sharing it with the people in your life. So I feel I passed the barrier of that many years ago. Yeah, it does just feel normal to me, I suppose, now. And I think it can be a bridge as well, like a way to bridge to people, or in the aftermath of situations and stuff. So I see it as a healing force. And I feel weirdly comfortable with it. I feel more comfortable sharing it in a song than, maybe speaking about it on stage or posting something online. So I guess you have poetic license as well.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to ask you about this, and this might be nothing at all, but I kind of feel like the album, you are really laying yourself bare at times. A lot of the kind of artwork and stuff for this is that there's a lot of skin, there's a lot of you kind of being quite naked or being quite unclothed. I'm sorry, I don't have a better phrase than that, but you know what I mean.
True.
And I was just was that kind of in harmony with the album, or was it just you didn't think about that?
No, it's not that I didn't think about it. I didn't plan it to happen like that, I suppose. But it was, we took Sam, who took the photos for the album. She came over and we had a weekend of taking a lot of different photos. And I didn't plan. We weren't searching for a photo that would represent the music, but when we had the collection after that weekend, and I looked back on it, we all sort of agreed that was the one, and it was for, I suppose, those reasons that you sort of touched on. And I suppose alongside that, I often do feel, if I'm being photographed, I feel most comfortable not with clothes on. Just it feels way more natural to me. I do have a side job working as a life model, so again, I'm very, very chill with that.
Fair play to you. I'm more of a put all the clothes in the house on at all times and
Yeah,
taking
yeah,
any
yeah.
kind of public photo. But
Okay, it takes all time.
yeah, so it's a really interesting thing to me. Listen to the album, and the more I listened to it, I really felt there was kind of four strong thematic kind of points on the album. There was like family, so like children and sisters and baby and brothers and all this kind of stuff. There was, you know, weather, which is winds and hurricanes and rain and season and clouds. There was nature, granite and aconite and rivers and all that kind of stuff, you know. And then there was body, like baby teeth and jawline and skin and wombs and eyes and chest. And I thought it was really interesting because almost all the songs had elements of all those four things all the way through: weather, family, body and nature. And it gives it a kind of very unifying thing. Did you feel yourself writing that way, or afterwards did you look back and say, "Oh, I used these themes and they kind of wove these themes together"?
Yeah, I think it was definitely after the fact. That's a really, thank you for, I suppose, taking the time to think about that. That was definitely after the fact, when I would look back, and even when I was like sort of writing up the lyrics and stuff, to like collect all the lyrics and things, because I don't think I was thinking in themes or thinking in like imagery. I suppose I probably was reading, from what I was reading at the time, probably influenced like what images I was more drawn to. But if we're to like think of those four themes, I think they are all interconnected in a big way. And all, you know, you do have like the seasons in your body, and then you have like your body interacting with the seasons and all these kinds of things. And I think overarching all of those, there is this kind of idea of like cycles and change and evolution, but also like endlessness, which is probably, you know, the rebirth. There's like the reference to children, like babies, and even birth and all of that. I feel like that is kind of the non-resolution of the album. And with the title as well, sort of refers to like needing to submit to this like idea of cycles, and how we are just really, we're at the mercy of, I suppose, seasons on so many levels. And I also like to think about like a period of writing as like a season of writing, and like what elements would be part of it, like, you know, the same way that different seasons have different like elements in the weather or food, all those kinds of things. So I do think that reusing images or like returning to themes is quite a natural way of writing for me. But my favourite way to write is like almost automatic and subconscious. So it is definitely after the fact that I can reflect on it and sum it up in the way that you just did.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. But it's interesting though as well, because lyrically there is a lot of kind of intimacy and there is a lot of vulnerability, but it never feels kind of muted or weak, you know, like it feels confident and kind of strong in that you know your identity, which is kind of different, because a lot of times when you come to like intimate albums that seem to have a lot of relationship stuff going on and grown up stuff in it, there's a sort of a searching for something. But whereas this feels like you know who you are and you're just kind of arranging the parts into something that makes sense. Would you see that? Or
yeah, that's another nice way to put it. I think the process of writing the songs is definitely like a return for me to something that I might have forgotten through the experience of whatever situation. Or also, it's like, I suppose, me speaking to my most intimate self in those moments. And that is like a place where you can't, I think if you are writing, like writing from the heart, I suppose, there's not much room for not speaking honestly to yourself. Otherwise it just like, well, first of all, it sounds bad, I think, and the song is not good and doesn't like last. Yeah, I do think that it's just because of that idea of like submission or like acceptance, maybe that kind of leads it to feel more like facing something and like gathering the realities together to sort of like face it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well,
if that has answered your question.
Yeah, well, you've gathered the realities together, which is a lovely way of saying you've put an album together. The album is Time of Fallow. It's a glorious listen, and you're playing the 10th of April to launch it in Bellow Bar, so that'll be an excellent show to go along and see. Ellie, we're going to play the song Silent Water now. Can you tell us a little bit about that before we play it?
Yeah, definitely. This is probably one of the oldest ones on the record, and it's kind of a song of two parts. I wrote the two distinct sections at different times, and when I realised that they worked together, it it was great. It's kind of, the verses sort of cycle this sensation of wanting to like give into something entirely, but also wanting to preserve yourself, I suppose. Yeah, it's like a prayer kind of to me when I'm singing it, or like a meditative thing anyway. And it's like very freeing as well to sing and perform. So
yeah, like a lot of the album, I imagine. Ellie O'Neill, the album is Time of Fallow. The gig is the 10th of April in Bellobar. Thanks so much for chatting to us today.
Thank you so much, Kieran. Thanks.
No bother. And let's play it. This is Silent Water from the album Time of Fallow on Radio Nova.
The Nova Guest List Podcast with Kieran McGuinness. The very best in indie, alternative and homegrown music from the seriously addictive Radio Nova.